Part two on the quadruple debunk of Radio 1 and his idiot, pathetic lies. Right here, we're looking at part two. He's attacking me personally and not any of the information from my videos. Now he says he did research, and what he basically did was just click on my name, go down through the videos, see that I had some coral reef videos because I'm interested in more than one thing as a human, and thinks that that actually debunks the fact that I ever studied anything. It's kind of pathetic, but let's watch what he goes with here.
What I did was, what I did was I clicked on his videos to see what he was talking about.
Yeah.
See what he was teaching about. To see what kind of knowledge he had.
No, he doesn't do that. He didn't click on any of my other videos. He'll go around clicking on maybe an Egyptian video and see if he can find one thing that I said that he thinks is wrong. And then he's going to yip like a troll and act like, oh, and then he probably struts around his little apartment there and tugs his prick and thinks that he actually did something whenever West African primitives are never a part of Egypt. They didn't even know it existed. They're not a part of the Bible either, but that's another video, I guess. No, it's in this one too. Just not. Just not. The heading not. Right. Not any of the BS that they say. Of course, he knows they're not the Hebrews and all the other stuff, so he'll actually discount those. He'll actually talk crap about those because they was Egyptians, which of course is just a disgusting, pathetic lie. And of course, genetics and everything have shown over and above the fact that there's blonde, blue-eyed, all this stuff going on through there, and all the knowledge from the time, and how they hated Nubians, vile Nubian troglodytes, and wouldn't even let them into the city. But that can all be discounted if he can just yap about you, then all of history somehow changes, or at least it's his mentality. Let's go.
So I clicked on the video, and then surprise. Yes, surprise. He shows his face.
Oh boy, and because I show my face and not a video, that makes West African primitives somehow the Egyptians?
Yes. So we're going to see here the face of Neptunes Lagoon. And we're going to see if this is the same person that is talking this racist garbage now.
Racist garbage now.
We're going to see.
See.
Who this fraud is. Yes, he shows
fraud.
his face.
Fraud.
But what I'm first going to do is I'm going to show you
fraud.
How he is talking now. Okay?
Man, he couldn't even, all you had to do was right there, just click on the video and it would start. He's having some problem.
Just give me a minute here.
It takes him a minute here. Yes.
I'll do my research.
No, you don't do research. All you did was click on my name and go down and look in my videos, and you think you've done something. I guess I'll turn that one off too now, because idiot Negroes are going to see that and then think that if they see my face, oh, I can kill him, and all these things, like if they did anything to me whatsoever, that would change Negro history somehow, and it doesn't. No, it's all so pathetic. And, they always worry about who's showing their face and not the information. It's kind of disgusting because once they're debunked, they try to personally attack people. That's all they do. That's the personal attack that's part of their mode. And if you don't show your face, then they can't talk crap about you. And, of course, 7P7, he just wants to tug it to her, and you can tell. But let's continue.
But here's what Neptunes Lagoon sounds like now. Let's get off into it.
We do not want a stupid, idiot West African primitive to try to speak on Africa if he's going to try to say he was Kang because he was not. Yep, that's the same voice I'm using now. It's the same voice I used on all my videos, but somehow he says I'm two different people. He tries to pull that off. It's kind of disgusting, yeah. I don't like the fact he's trying to show my face and try to show it to all his racist little friends there like he's exposing somebody. I think we ought to go and just all put a flag on his video and tell him that's racist and stuff and see if we can't get it knocked off, like they try to do to everybody else, because it's kind of disgusting that he's trying to put that out there, It really is.
Okay. So he's talking junk about primitives, West Africa, kings, and all that.
Yep. No, you're talking junk. Being a West African who was primitives, who weren't kangs. Kangs were the ones that sold your ass off. They captured and sold their own people, like a drive-through slave mart for beads and alcohol. And everybody knows it. 92% went to South America and very few came to North America and everything that goes along with that. And blacks enslaved other blacks before and after they got freed in the Americas. Oh yeah, there was freed blacks and they had slave plantations and they had their own slaves. And they tried to get Irish slaves, but quickly a law was made to outlaw that because they didn't know how to treat people right. Yeah, you can look into that too. Also, you can look into Anthony Johnson, a previously freed black slave that went to court and made it lifetime slavery for black people because they're not human. That's what it was kind of presented as, is that they weren't actually the people under chattel slavery, that they were sold off as a commodity. And then they showed how they had bought the guy and everything off of it, and he won. He wins. Blacks wins, so he got to keep his John Casor for life, but that set the standard in the statute, and it was done again by blacks' own hands.
But let's go to his video, his first video, okay, after showing lagoons, okay?
But first I have to crap out my mouth, huh? Is that what you got? Crap out your mouth.
Or showing fish tanks. A fish.
He finally got it. Aquariums and fish tanks, not lagoons. Yeah, it's aquariums. Yeah, aquarium. Yeah, it is a water world that you can keep. It's an amazing thing. If you do things right and keep water quality right, which is quite a delicate endeavor, but if done correctly, it's fairly simple. You just have to know what to do, and experts can help you do that. And you can take pieces of live corals and fish from the ocean, crabs and shrimps and inverts, as long as they go along with each other. There's an important part there because some of these things eat each other, and you don't want to trap them in a box, of course. And some fish don't get along with other fish naturally, and you don't want to put them in a box together too. And so you find compatibility in things. It's somewhat of a science to it, and people, by utilizing that science, have figured out about the ocean. In fact, let's take a look here. Let's go. So here's my page of videos. It's right here, and so let's see how many of these videos are supposedly about West African primitives or West African people or Negroids in general, and how many are actually about all the histories of all the areas, specializing mainly in the Middle East and Proto-Indo-Europeans here. Well, let's see, we've got history of cannabis there, one on Dr. Carl Sagan, early European Basque, blue-eyed bonds in Israel, Amazons, a video that I did on Jesus where it's Pontius Pilate explaining that he is a pale, blonde-haired, whitey cracker. And but the background video that I use shows from a TV show, and I've had to hack it up in little bits, even take a couple of pieces out of it, the sayings out of it, to try to make it compatible, and it still keeps flagging, so I'm almost just going to give up on that. But there's that one. Now here's a four-parter on Amazons. They want to ban Viking symbols. They've had a Batman or a Bat God of the Incas that's pretty cool if you'll check that out. History of Cannabis Part 1 versus 2 in there, and how it goes back 27 million years, and all the ancient ropes were all made out of hemp and things, and where it comes from, and how it comes out of the Proto-Indo-Europeans, and where we get that from. And in that video it also shows yin and yang symbols right there. Yeah, Triptyllian cultures. Oh, here's one, error found in Motoman genome study. Yeah, somebody had reported that they had a slight Neanderthal admixture in all Negroids, as opposed to just the Motoman and the people of Ethiopia that inherited it due to the admix. And they said the way that they run it through their system showed it up to be higher, and it gave this pinpoint, which would say that they had some, but they ran it through another filter correctly and said, no, they don't. But these Mota guys here have a higher admix than they even thought before. The admix they were trying to pertain off to Neanderthal goes on to that. So actually they had a higher admix of Caucasians from that time. And this is over in the Horn of Africa area. And whenever we look up the definition of Caucasians, it'll tell you that they are through North Africa, Egypt, all the way into the Horn of Africa, and of course up through Europe, all the way through Russia, into the edge of China, down all the way to the top of India and back across. Yeah, Whitey Cracker, all of that area. West African primitives, really sub-Saharan over to the west. Khoisan got pushed out to the south. The only people that the Egyptians dealt with were Nubians, and Nubians will never be called Egyptians. I did one on Jesse Smollett because they are now releasing the judge files onto him because that was BS. Red-headed giants of the Americas, the Joshua Tree, Prince of the Arctic, Barbary Coast pirates. Oh no, they took white slaves, millions of them. Whoopsie. Native American Caucasian DNA found in the Americas, predating the Amerindians. Then we have his three-part debunk bait that he's actually mad about here. But then Malta Boy. Ethiopian genetics shows early admix Moda cave. This is the one that goes along with the other one that says, no, 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 it's even higher. Russian rock art. So, I mean, it just goes on and on. So, hold on, let's go to 7. Let's go. Yeah, I can only go through, what is it, 30 of them at a time here. So let's continue. I'm just going to go down through here. Egyptians. Oh, here's one. Egyptian DNA and connections. That's the one 7 Phoenician 7 got in on. But here's realhistory.ww.com. So I am running through a group of them right here. I did a 12-part debunk debate on that. And the reason I did a 12-parter was he does show a lot of true information about Proto-Indo-Europeans and everything. It's just that he keeps trying to interject black people into certain areas and the Greeks. And they were black, and stuff. And it's disgusting as hell. But he did give some true information. It's almost like if you just took out that crap. Then I've done one on Sesostris, and look how whitey he looks. Mandela effect, Ethiopians of the Greeks, and he'll show this here in a little bit in this video. And if you'll just look at that area there, everywhere that's brown in that little map is where Ethiopians are. But he's going to try to discount that here shortly. And oldest Negroid skull ever found. This was a direct debate. They were like, blacks was your daddy. And I'm like, really? Because the only Negroid skull ever found is only 9100 BC. And oh, slap in the face, that's a proto-Negroid, meaning he was kind of like a ner, and he wasn't actually the Negroid. The oldest modern Negroid found is SLR man that they have. I think it's like 4600 BC. So that's a proof into there. Gave a video to Raidio. He asked some questions, made a video for that. Hosan Chink and the guys that are at Hate Whitey and so on off doing it. Pre-dynastic Egypt, yeah, but what else do I got? Well, I've got the Bible here and Noah and the children of the Bible. I've got prehistoric Eurasian steppes. I'm really not doing it about black people at all. Egyptian cores, Bible stuff, prehistoric Eurasian steppes, racist myths about South American countries, not about America, but this is where they did a video trying to say that blacks are being racistly done in Argentina and all these places, and then I show you their amount of them that are there and stuff and what goes on to it and debunk it somewhat. So there's a lot of these that are in here, but let me just go ahead and try to go more to the end, but we'll go to some of these videos that he just thinks is so important. And so, in some of these videos here, like you can see sub-Saharan DNA reveals 39,000 views on some of these things, but others don't get big views. That's because I've been kind of, what do you call it, shadow banned there. And so a lot of these videos here are just information. I made a funny one about Bill Cosby and Cosby sweaters. Queen Tin-Handed, founder of Mali, they don't like that truth either. So spears and warfare throughout history, done a lot on that, armor, all kinds of things. What I do is not about Negroids. Who built the modern British railway system? Europeans. And Treasures of Sargon. Oh, Serena Williams, I did one when she threw her big fit and said that they were going after her because she was a woman just because she finally lost a tennis match. Kind of disgusting. Mummified. First Pilgrims. Chinese take over Africa. They don't mince words, and he tells this black guy here they don't do nothing. Herodotus's map. He's all about Herodotus. Here's Herodotus's map showing you that they don't even know sub-Saharan Africa exists whatsoever. and that goes along with Ethiopians. Oh, here's a Greek pyramid at Heraklion, which actually may predate the ones in Egypt. So that was, you ain't got no pyramids. And the funny thing is, the people saying that are West African primitives relatives, and they don't have nothing. They don't have anything really. Giant skulls, red-headed giants, land of the pygmies. Whenever somebody went through Africa, so yeah, I've got some of them in here, but a lot of mine aren't. There's a stretch right through here where I did a bunch of them because, like I said, I had that list of 38 that I had to go with. Oh, here's one showing Hillary Clinton's a racist and then what she says to black people openly. And it's funny how they wanted her so bad and hate Trump. And Trump has got the lowest black unemployment ever that's going on. Did one on Races of Mankind where they try to say that an Egyptian is a Negro. That's kind of disgusting too. So yeah, there's just hundreds of these videos. Oh man, I like the series I did on Thor Heyerdahl and how he'd made it to the new world in reed boats just like before. How Neanderthal man seems to look a little bit more human than we originally gave it in the first place. National Geographic's going to quit putting out stuff that shows you that primitives are actually primitives still in the world because it's racist now to be like National Geographic used to be and show you all the people and stuff. I did a debunk on Hamitic Renaissance here. I did one showing Zorro. I did one showing the Sudan pyramids, which weren't built by the Sudanese originally, and how Meroe is actually Cambyses' sister, I'm sorry, and it was named after her. And so Atlantis, I've done them on Samson, I've done them on just all kinds of vids. Oh, Queen Nefertiti, they did not like that at all. The Amazigh and the Moors and the endemic people of North Africa, they didn't like that one. Queen Nefertiti's bust being redone and showing her Caucasian features, oh, they didn't like that one. 11,000 vids on that. So see, I get some of them occasionally, they get attached, but not always. New Egyptian tomb, and they show you all the pale people on the walls. Didn't like that one. That might be one of the ones they jump on. Badarian and Egyptian Aryan connections. Badarian, Aryan, yeah. All kinds of stuff in there. He doesn't like that, though. But let's get on down here. And again, this isn't about me, but I'm just, I have to defend myself, I guess, huh? Thousands of vids. Information from around the world. Oh, Egyptian scribes, blue-eyed. How does that work? From the earliest dynasties. I did make one about African Dinka and how they get red hair by taking piss baths up under cows, still to this day. Oh, and then unbelievable sex practices from around the world, many of which are actually found in Africa. Yeah, so they didn't used to act like white people now and try to mimic the white civilization that they're in now. They, before that, had to do other stuff. King Tut's DNA reveals he's a Caucasian and contains European and Anatolian Levantine type people from back in the day. Sabaeans and how their art looks like Greeks. Amtrak derailed. I made a video about that. Yeah, I'm not making stuff that's only about blacks, but here's one about black inventions totally being debunked. Hebrew Israelites and their BS. A Bantu African spiritual ceremony showing you how they would act probably if they didn't have any contact. Oh wait, I'm sorry. This is well after contact and they still act like that. Himwenu and the architect of the Great Pyramid. Black Hebrew Israelites and how they say one thing but reality's another. Here's another one that does that too, and it has Pastor Manning in it, showing you that he's not going to let this BS keep going on with blacks. Even the real Merkabah here, showing you that blacks are not in the Bible, and what he does is try to destroy the Bible, showing you that it all comes from Sumerians and all the ancient stuff, and it doesn't even come from what blacks try to covet. This debunk here on Hebos, which was hilarious because they've photoshopped stuff, so now they're photoshopping fake information to try to make themselves a part of the Bible. Showed that part. Let's just go ahead and go on down here. Crescent moon, Islam and stuff. Yeah, all these old videos. White elephant in the Bible having to do with El, the god of the Phoenicians. Yeah, who the Phoenicians call themselves Canaan. And so that's where Canaanites comes from. And Moses, Hebrew god. Jacob's stairway to heaven is actually a ziggurat. All these type of things. So let's get on down here, man. It takes quite a few. Timelines, Zodiac. A lot of this back here was into Bible stuff. I had gone through the whole rigmarole and then decided to come back through Bibles. Aryans, DNA proof, pyramid builders, ancient Sumerians, Arata, leader of mankind's origin, 69,000 views. Yeah, so it's had some views on it. Some of these have had quite a few views, other ones don't so much. So yeah, you can tell it's kind of a shadow ban situation. And some of these little pieces like that bib one, those are sections that I actually took and put into other vids. All these pieces right here that we're looking at, all of these are all little sections and pieces put into other vids. And they predate what he's talking about, 2017. We're in 2019 now and halfway through it. So there's 2.5 years. But no, I've been doing this for over 35 years. If I don't make a video, I wasn't studying. How does that mentality work, Negro? Before you made your first video, did you not study? Or did you just start yapping and making up shit? Oh, you studied before you made a video. For how long, Negro? For how long? And hey, it doesn't take that long. Let me give you an example of embarrassment that way. I used to play guitar, played in bands. Even the band that I was part of, warmed up for Skid Row before and a few others. Woo for me, right? Now, I've taught a couple of people how to play guitar that ended up playing Eddie Van Halen licks all over the place and stuff. And I couldn't quite pull it off myself. I'm too into scales and all kinds of weird crap and couldn't quite do it. But so now we're going to look at these videos. And right now, we just got past where he's talking about. We're in 2017. And here's a bunch of videos that didn't come out that, if you look over here, are all on hold. But how many of them? Oh man, this is page and page 2, and let's go on. What else is another page of them here too that's there, and then there's a whole other page of them here. And oh wait, there's that Zeus head, and that's the first one I ever did, huh? Well, how about these and 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 these? How about all of these? How about there's 3 more pages before we get actually down to it here? Huh? Well, that doesn't matter to you, really? Let's look. Oh my God, there's another page and a page. After 3 more pages, we finally get down to where I've got these corals and stuff that are in here. Yeah, so I did live corals and fish from around the world. A lot of these corals, and I sold them around the world to different people too. And so I'd have to ship them out and stuff about Halloween and things like that I've done. Yeah. So let's, how many of these keep going on? Because now we're in 2014. So back then I was just putting up vids about corals and things, huh? Ooh, like look at this rainbow anemone here. This is like what clownfish play in, okay? And like Nemo. And this is one that I have. It's a rainbow bubble tip anemone. Real rare. And I was selling them for $90 to $110, and they're generally on lists about $400. This one had bright fuchsia tip, pink nipple tips on the end of it, as opposed to sometimes the red one was really quite a standout. So back to it though. Let's see, we'll look down through here. All these coral videos. Yeah, I'm doing coral videos in here. I'm not doing it, would you say I wasn't studying if I was doing it about the Greeks? Do I have to be yelling about black people for him to believe that I'm studying? Is that how that mentality works? Did he make a video before he started studying? Hey, here's a customer from Korea that came all the way from Korea to see me and buy corals in person, and he's going to tell you that I'm famous.
Let's go with famous in Korea, right? Like very different.
And I had to record him say that he came in, he introduced himself, and I said, oh, I know that name, I've shipped to you. And he goes, yes, I come all the way to see you. I see New York, I see LA, I come to you now. I want to see the corals. I told you I come. And I go, yeah, and I gave him a hell of a deal. And he goes, man, you're famous in Korea with all these people. I'm selling a lot of what I buy from you to them. And I was like, well, that's incredible. Hold on a second, let me grab the camera. You're telling me I'm famous in Korea? I've got to have that. So yeah. So at one time I was kind of famous in Korea for having sold a lot of these rare and exotic corals from around the world, and just gorgeous corals. I mean, if y'all want to, you can take a look at some of these. here. A lot of different shapes, a lot of different colors. Some are